Hello. Happy Wednesday, everybody. I almost forgot myself this time. No joke.
Hello. Happy Wednesday.
Welcome to another episode of Smart Assets. My name is Ivan Demo, CMO of the American Crypto Academy, and we have a great episode in store and a great guest that we can't wait for everyone to hear. And as always, joined by my co-host Evan.
Yeah, hi, I'm Evan, or at EvDogCrypto, analyst for SARS and Funds. Super excited about the show tonight. We're joined by our guest Sami. If you want to introduce yourself and let the people know who you are, we'd love that.
How's it going, guys? Thank you so much for having me, Ivan and Evan. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you here today. This is the first time that I'm on StreamYard, so I'm excited to use this software here. It's been a lot of fun, and we're going to have a great time today. But yeah, my name is Sami. I'm the co-founder of SolarFarmAccess, or SFA for short. SFA is basically just an NFT project combining renewable energy with Web3 community and technology. So we'll be going more in depth about that during this live stream, but just want to throw that out there as well. So yeah, excited for the stream, guys.
All right, well, awesome. Welcome. Excellent to have you, and we'll talk about how we met IRL and how we met before that and all that stuff. But for those of you joining us for the first time, this is Smart Assets, and this Evan and I jump into dissecting and exploring Web3 blockchain projects, gaming, anything we like, anything we think worthy of mentioning, as well as our friends, and anything that we think you should watch out for and how to learn to grow in the space and be careful. So thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the content. We appreciate your support and happy to keep bringing these to you. On that note, also as a reminder, anything and everything we share on this show is for information, educational, and entertainment purposes. Don't take it as financial advice. We're not financial advice. Financial advice is not given as a public setting, so we're not. For that, reach out to Start Some Funds. Evan's the right. He can hook you up, and but yeah, we're not doing that. We're just having fun, enjoying, sharing the alpha, and alerting you to anything we think is of high value to share. So, all right. Evan, before we jump into our learning about our guests' organization and what they're building, I know a lot about it. I've been following it for a while, but what are some of the other things we're going to touch on today?
Yeah, so we shared a little bit of a video from last week about Heavy Metal, Yuga's new game ecosystem that they're coming out with. They dropped a new video that I'd love to share with everybody. It's very cool. There also is a little bit of controversy around the new Azuki drop that we're going to touch on. Bodagos, one of the biggest Solana mints in the last few months, minted yesterday. I'd love to share the one that I got, as well as just talk a little bit about my perspective on that project particularly. And if we have the time, we're going to talk a little bit about helium and what has been happening in that ecosystem.
I heard you mention Bo Dogos this morning on the Learn Crypto radio show, and I wasn't sure what you said, and that reminded me of a Dogos project, not spelled the same way, on Tezos. Funny enough, I asked you about if you've dabbed in Tezos before or not, but so I'm curious for you to tell us more about that so that we can compare and see if maybe, because Tezos on the particular Dogos project I'm talking about on Tezos is one of the high performance still, even during this bear market projects on there. So something to definitely check out. And I think they have a game and a few other things, but all right. Well, if we, based on time, because Sammy, we're gonna let you tell us everything and anything about the project. We'll jump in there. We'll ask you questions just like we do on Spaces. But here we have some visuals, and I'm a big fan of what you're doing. There's a few other projects out there in the space, like the Hydro Hippos, for example. But yours is unique, and you've also been working and growing in the solar space, so I'm really looking forward to learning more and sharing with the audience. But if we have time, I also want to touch on Goo Balls. Sounds funny. Goo Balls is a little personal. I met one of the founders in New York NFT NYC last year, and I've been following through. It was a project on Wax, and now they're on Ethereum, so I'd love to share a little more about that. Very unique approach to minting NFTs. Sproto Gremlins. Full disclosure, I'm a holder. A lot of our team members are holders, not financial advisors, we said a few minutes ago, but it's a fascinating meme project. So we haven't talked about it. Let's talk about it today. And if we have time, again, I really don't, because it sounds like a full show, but World Wide Web is still on the list. One of these days, we're actually going to log in there and play it together and showcase that project. While the floor is low, not a financial advice. And on that note, Sammy, let's get in there. By all means, tell us about SolarFarmAccess. The floor is yours. Share screen, teach us. I know a little, but I can come up with some questions that I've held back. And Evan, it's brand new to Evan, so we'll let him drive this interview.
Let's do it. Awesome. Well, just scrolling up to the top. This is our website, so I'll kind of just be going through the website and also giving you guys some insight on, each one of these topics. But thank you so much for having me again, Ivan. I'm very happy to be here today, representing SolarFarmAccess, the project that I'm co-founder of. The other co-founder was not able to make it today, but typically he does usually join me. His name is Kareem, and we'll scroll down to the team section, and you guys can see the whole team so far. So very cool stuff. Yeah.
Not to interrupt you, let's talk a little about how we met. Like our very first intro was in Twitter Spaces, and I thought the project was fascinating and interesting to begin with. And so we started kind of commingling in some Twitter Spaces, but then we went to ETH Denver, and I'll let you tell the rest.
Yeah, so we met at ETH Denver. We went to this real world event. That was the name of the event. The E in real world was a 3 for Web3. And that event took place in Denver, Colorado. That's also where our project is based, in Colorado, USA. We went to this real world event, and we were, trying to network with people. And I was standing in line, and Ivan was standing next to me. So I wanted to get to know him. I introduced myself, and it turned out that he represented the American Crypto Academy, which, we had always spoken on Twitter Spaces and gotten to know each other. So it was really cool to actually put a name to the voice, or a face to the voice. And it was just a really cool event, and we had a great time overall. So ever since then, we've been hopping on Twitter Spaces. We host a weekly space every Sunday at 2 p.m. EST on Twitter Spaces, and Ivan has joined a few of those spaces as well. We've just been having a great time in Web3 and really exploring the space together. So it's been a great time.
It's there's not enough of those stories where we first met in the metaverse and then IRL randomly without even planning it. So I always found that fascinating. And that's just like the energy is bringing everyone together. And, funny enough, Evan, we mentioned Helium, like we went there because wasn't Helium or Solana part of that as well with it was an IoT event, and we were curious because we're such big fans of Helium, what Helium's doing. So it kind of makes like a full circle to what we've been talking about. Let's go.
Very cool. Okay, yeah. It was IoTex, I think.
Yes.
The name of the company. Yeah, very cool. So yeah, very happy to be here again. So yeah, I guess we'll dive a little bit into the project. So over here you can see our logo. SolarFarmAccess is the name of our full company, but we go by SFA for short. So you can kind of see in the logo there's an S, F, and A. We are a renewable energy project, basically trying to tie in solar energy production with Web3 community and technology. So let's dive in. So over here, you can see like we have a nice little animation on our website. I would really recommend that anyone tuning in today, checks out the website, reads our white paper. Before I go into the project, please do your own research into our project, guys. We have a beautiful white paper that goes very in depth about everything that all of our goals and all of our missions as a project and as NFT founders. So definitely take a look for yourself, guys, and do your own research. And if you have any questions, our DMs on Twitter are open, and we are open to any and all questions. We do host a Twitter space every Sunday at 2 p.m. EST. Feel free to hop in on those every Sunday. This Sunday, we might, since it is a holiday weekend, we might not be hosting the space, but typically every other Sunday, again, at 2 p.m. EST, we host them. Feel free to stop by, request to speak. They are open spaces. Ask whatever questions you would like, and we would love to answer them live on the Twitter space as well. So might as well dive deep now. So so we have two different collections. We have a utility-focused collection and a community-focused collection. So as far as the community collection goes, we have the Solar Heads collection. This is a collection of 2,750 SolarHead NFTs. I know it says 5,550. We actually just changed the supply a few weeks ago, basically to give back to our community. We cut the supply in half, raised the mint price. That way it just kind of gave some more value to our holders. So it's 2,750 SolarHeads priced at 0.02 ETH. And each one of these SolarHeads is basically your representation of supporting our project and movement. So although these are focused on community, we still do have a lot of utility added to these. Every week, we do have weekly giveaways to SolarHead holders. We give away NFTs, we give away ETH, just a whole plethora of different items. And we are actually in the process of making some merch, and we're going to start giving out some merch as well. And we'll go more in depth into what that merch will be here shortly. So these are the solar heads. Like I was saying, 20% of the mint revenue that we make from these solar heads actually go into donating to different charities. So each month we basically send out a community vote. The community votes on what environmental or social organization they want to donate to that month. And whatever is voted by most, or whatever is voted for most by our community, is where we delegate 20% of those mint proceeds for that month. So this month, we're actually removing plastic from the ocean. We're working with 4Ocean, which is an organization that basically removes plastic from the ocean for every bracelet that you buy from them. So they have these like 4Ocean bracelets. If you purchase a bracelet from them, they remove 1 pound of plastic from the ocean. So not only are we, working as a community to remove plastic from the ocean, but we are also giving back those bracelets to SolarHead holders as basically just for every 4 mints. Or for every 4 solar heads minted, just kind of as like a token of appreciation and to show, our community the impact of what they're doing by minting one of our NFTs. So it's some really cool stuff. In the past, we've also we planted 100 trees as a part of forest fire recovery here in the U.S. There's in the western area of the U.S., mainly Northern California. There's been a lot of wildfires, so we donated to 1 tree planted to aid in forest fire recovery last month, and planted 100 trees as a community, which we take pride in and are very excited about. SolarFarmAccess is not your typical NFT project. We're actually a green chip NFT project. So what most people are familiar with are blue chip NFTs. Those are focused on, primarily art-driven collections that are focused on high trading volume and just like a lot of hype on them. Whereas green chip NFTs are really focused on building communities to either improve social issues, solve environmental problems, and basically just come together as a community to change the world for the better. So SFA and the Solar Heads is actually the largest green chip community currently on the blockchain, which we also take a lot of pride in. We've been growing. We've launched We launched the solar heads around 3 months ago, but SolarFarmAccess and our existing our other collection, the Solar Pass collection, has existed for over a year now. So, very fun stuff. I love Web3. I'm a huge proponent of it. I also work in the solar industry. I'm an environmental engineer with around 7 years of experience, and currently work as a solar development engineer. So basically, I help develop solar farms all across New England, USA. So, some pretty cool stuff. And very excited to be a part of the Solar Farm Access movement. But again, these are the solar heads. The supply is 2,750 and the price is 0.02. So if you guys are interested in joining the green chip movement, this SFA is a great opportunity to get involved with that movement as a whole. So that's everything with the solar heads collection. Again, we have two collections. The second one is more of our utility focused collection, and this is the Solar Pass collection. What you're seeing here is our Solar Pass Black. There are only 100 black solar passes in our entire supply of 5,000. So these are very exclusive, and these are actually only available through airdrops and giveaways. We host giveaways on Twitter. We host them in our Discord. So if you guys are interested in winning one of these, the current floor price is 9 ETH, which is awesome. And we just have a really diamond hands community. But if you do want to win one of these, definitely follow us on Twitter, join our Discord, and stay tuned to those giveaways. But I'll be going more in depth here about what each one of these solar passes represent and basically what the whole underlying mission of SFA is. The Solar Pass collection, it's a collection of 5,000 Solar Pass NFTs. We have 4 different mint phases. We're currently in the second mint phase. The first mint phase was the Solar Pass Blacks, and the second is our Solar Pass Blue supply, I guess. There are 500 blue Solar Passes. These ones are priced at 0.1 ETH. And basically, all the proceeds generated by our Solar Pass collection are crowdfunding a crypto mining agrivoltaic solar farm here in Colorado. So we're looking at land in the San Luis Valley, which is in southern Colorado. They receive more than 300 days of sunshine, and it's a beautiful area. And I'll go more in depth about why we chose this area as well, and more about that solar farm here in a second. But again, each one of these solar passes is basically your receipt that you contributed to this solar farm. And it also gives you entry into our SFA DAO and allows you to stake your solar pass to earn SFA tokens, which is our new crypto token that we just released. It's an ERC20 that we released around 2 weeks ago now. So staking is currently in development. Again, we'll go more in depth into that as well. But that was just a brief overview about everything that the Solar Pass collection is about. The solar farm that we are building, our goal is to build a 500 kilowatt off-grid crypto mining agrivoltaic solar farm. So I know that was like a huge, mouthful, but we'll break down each one of those. So a 500 kilowatt solar farm is capable of producing enough energy to power 250, or on average around 250 to 400 homes in real life. So this solar farm is going to be off-grid, so it will not be powering homes, but will instead be mining different proof of work cryptocurrencies. At the moment, our goal is to mine Bitcoin and Kadena. That's what our main focuses are on. But we do also aim to, mine as many, proof of work crypto tokens as possible. So that's just kind of what we're looking at. At the moment, with our current blueprints, we want to install 140 ASIC Bitcoin miners, each capable of mining. The total amount of crypto that will be mined is expected to be $30,000 to $40,000 a month. All right, so this 30 to 40K will not be going it will be going into an SFA DAO. So basically, if you own one of these Solar Pass NFTs, you'll be receiving governance into that DAO, and you'll be able to create proposals, vote on proposals, and basically choose where this money goes each month. So the only boundaries that we do have, since we are a green chip NFT project, are that they do create a positive impact on the environment and society as a whole. So the way that this will work is, let's say you own a Solar Pass and you have it staked. you'll be able to earn SFA tokens. And after you earn a certain amount of SFA tokens, you'll be able to create a proposal within the DAO. And let's say this month you want to create a proposal to start raising funds to build a solar farm in Africa or another area of the world that really needs, clean energy. You'll be able to create that proposal, and other solar pass holders will be able to vote on those proposals and vote either yes, we should start raising funds for this, or no, we should not. So that's basically the utility associated with these SFA tokens, is that the ability to vote and basically create proposals on where that $30,000 to $40,000 a month each month goes. So some really cool stuff that we have planned. So not only are we going to also be mining crypto at these solar farms, I just actually switched jobs, but previously I'd worked for the federal government in the US. Basically, I was researching something called agrivoltaics. Agrivoltaics is the process of actually combining agriculture with photovoltaics, which is a fancy word for solar panels. And basically, it's a great use of land that can also generate additional revenue. So underneath our solar farms, we're actually looking at growing industrial hemp underneath our solar farms, because there's also a symbiotic relationship between the solar panels and the plants underneath them. So we're looking at growing hemp. We're looking at growing different wildflowers and grasses that are also native and indigenous to the regions of our solar farms. So since this 500 kilowatt solar farm is going to be based in the San Luis Valley, that's what plants we're going to be really focusing on growing underneath the panels. We really want to be providing habitat for local pollinators, as well as shelter for different types of wildlife that are in the area as well. So just some really cool stuff that we have planned. Hemp is also a cash crop. It sells for a lot of money, and it's also just really cool to do. So that's really why we're deciding to do all of this. And to go a little more in depth about agrivoltaics, that symbiotic relationship that I was talking about, I'll kind of break down. So let's imagine you have a solar farm and you raise your solar panels 8 feet off the ground. All right, so you have some land, and then you build a solar farm 8 feet off the ground. Underneath the solar panels, you can grow a different variety of crops, whichever crops grow best in those regions. So for us, hemp grows really well, as well as native wildflowers and grasses. So having those plants underneath the solar panels provides a cooling effect for the solar panels which lie above them. And it actually allows the solar panels to operate at a higher efficiency than if those plants weren't under there to begin with. So not only do the plants underneath the panels make the solar panels more efficient, but the solar panels also provide shading to the plants underneath them, which helps certain varieties of plants grow a lot better. This process kind of mimics a growing process seen originally in nature called agroforestry, which combines forestry with agriculture. And in this case, we're combining solar panels with agriculture. So the plants help the panels generate more electricity, and the plants also provide shading to the plants which helps them grow better. So just some very cool stuff that we have planned. We're really trying to be at the forefront of all of these rapidly evolving technologies, such as crypto, Web3, NFTs, renewable energy, as well as agrivoltaics, and crypto mining. So, we're really trying to push the limits of our project, and we're very excited for what the future has in store for us. So where we currently are in the project is we are currently in the process of actually getting our blueprints down for this solar farm, and we're actually about to be releasing the first blueprints of the solar farm here within the next couple of weeks. So we're very excited about it. We are still very early into our project. We do always like to be very transparent about that. Right now, we're really focused for this next year on just community building and really growing the foundation of our Web3 infrastructure. We really want to build a solid community, people who really want to support us on this mission. And then from there, starting in Q1 of 2024 is when we're also going to reach out to external grants, as well as external investors and sources of revenue to crowdfund, also to help with the crowdfunding of this solar farm. So it's very cool stuff. Again, I know that there's a lot of layers into our project, but if you guys have any questions about anything I just spoke about, I'd love to dive deeper into whatever you would like. But thank you again so much for having me, Ivan. I'm having a great time here. I like this new platform of being able to stream what we have going on. One more thing that I'll do before I end the shill here is just kind of like guide through the website real quick before I finish. Over here, you can see our roadmap. We are actually going to update this here very shortly. We have an updated roadmap in our Discord that includes some timestamps as well as some additional information as to what we plan to do throughout this process. So we really break down each and every level of this in our Discord. But again, we are going to be updating our website here very shortly. So this is our roadmap section. This is the agrivoltaics that I was talking about. So you can grow plants underneath solar panels. The plants provide a cooling effect for the panels, and the panels provide shading for the plants, which help them grow better. So this is a symbiotic relationship is what we call it. It's mutually beneficial for both parties. The panels help the plants, and the plants help the panels. So very cool stuff. I also worked as a beekeeper for a while. And we also do want to grow some native wildflowers underneath the solar panels and have some beehives nearby to also produce some local honey, which we can then give back to holders, sell to local markets. And we're really just trying to really, improve the local ecosystem as to where we build these solar farms. A huge issue with traditional solar farm development is it requires acres and acres of land. These people or these solar developers who come in to develop these solar farms don't necessarily care about the environment. They have a lot of shareholders that they have to accommodate to, as well as customers. With us, the whole point of our project is to be a decentralized solar farm that doesn't necessarily have to adhere to stakeholders, but instead our community decides on the direction of the solar farm and future solar farms as well. So we really do want to improve. We're not having any greenwashing with our project, and we're really focused on improving the soils of our region, improving the air quality, improving habitats for local wildlife, and really want to show people that you can create a positive impact in the world while generating revenue and, while making everybody happy, because we're voting as a DAO, as a community. Everyone in our community is getting involved. And we're really just excited to make a positive impact and change the negative reputation associated with NFTs and Web3. If you typically talk to, I know I'm going on tangents and everything, but just because this stuff is important, if you speak to a regular person on the street and you just even raise up the word of NFTs, the first thing that will come to mind is scam or unnecessary or like a waste of money. We want to show people that that's completely false, and that it's just that those were the early days of NFTs. And we want to show people that, you can create positive impact with this technology and really create a community that does good for the world instead of one that, doesn't do anything or does harm. So very exciting stuff. We do also plan to experiment with EV charging stations down the road. And we do want to give certain utility to our holders. So if you hold a solar pass, we either want to give you a discount or, free renewable energy. But of course, we have to do so in a way that does not violate any security laws, because we are very stringent on that. For the scale as to which we see our project getting, we have to make sure that everything does adhere to, U.S. security laws, and we do not want to be classified as security. So, the legal representation involved, we will, throughout the process, as our project develops, we'll make sure to be receiving the, legal help required to make sure that, we can do this in a legal and safe way for our project and holders. So very exciting stuff. And over here, I'm just going to scroll down, introduce the team a little bit. This is myself. I'm Sami. As I mentioned earlier, I'm an environmental engineer. I currently work as a solar development engineer, but I have experience in regenerative agriculture, working in horticulture, as well as agrivoltaics and beekeeping. So very cool stuff. And, I'm huge into organic gardening, organic living, growing your own food. Producing your own energy, just off-grid living in general. So if any of you guys want to nerd out with me about that, I would love to go more in depth and, talk more about my experiences. But so over here, this is Kareem. This is the other SFA's other co-founder. He also has a background in business and finance, and he's actually who got me into crypto and Web3 to begin with. So without him, SFA wouldn't have existed, but also without me, it wouldn't. So we really put our brains together and really mixed our expertise and created SFA, which we're extremely proud about. So over here, this is our website designer. Artemy. He created this website, made it look super beautiful, as well as our white paper, and he's awesome to work with. Shout out Artemy. Definitely shoot him a follow on LinkedIn. This is Caleb, our cybersecurity expert. He helps us, with blockchain technology, as well as being kind of like a creative strategist for us as we develop different technologies within our project. Here is Biru. Biru is our artist for the solar heads. He's an amazing artist, makes some beautiful 3D art, has several collections of his own, and the solar heads themselves are an awesome collection as well. We could go through OpenSea and I could show you guys what those look like too. And then this is Cole. Cole is another environmental engineer that I've worked with in the past and who's also on the SFA team. Cole specializes in environmental restoration. Environmental restoration is basically, let's say I own a company. Let's say I own an oil company, and I dump out toxic waste into local water bodies, into, the land, and into the soil. What an environmental restoration engineer will do is remove those toxins from that land and try to restore it back to its native and natural state before human intervention. So Cole is going to help us create those pollinator habitats underneath our solar panels to really maximize our positive environmental impact with what SFA is doing. And here is Eamon. Eamon is our collab manager and has been on the team for a while now. So, some really cool stuff, guys. We have a careers page. Please feel free to check it out. We have a ton of open positions. If you guys want to get involved with what we're doing, we'd love to, read your guys' resumes and see how we can get you on board. These are just some of our partners, an FAQ section, and this is the end. So I know I just, talked an extremely long time. Hopefully you guys followed along the whole time and I didn't just, go running without any stop. But feel free to ask any questions, and I'd love to go more in depth about anything in case you guys missed it. So thanks again for having me. I'm having a great time.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here. Yeah, that's a mouthful of everything you shared and a lot of layers to uncover. And it does go deep, but it's very exciting. And it seems like you've thought about it from many different angles. And very exciting stuff. Thanks so much for sharing.
Most definitely. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. And, I know that what I just said was just a lot of information. A lot of it might've been more technical than what you guys were expecting. But, a very simple way to view our project is you purchase one of our Solar Pass NFTs. That money goes into building a solar farm. And then you'll be receiving different utility associated with that solar farm that is really focused on making a positive impact in the world. That's just a short and sweet version of it.
Amazing. Yeah. One question I had to do with, the expansion. Obviously, the primary focus is going to be this first solar farm, getting it done the way you guys intend to. But you mentioned that there's going to be voting mechanics to possibly expand to multiple other farms and different areas around the world that might need it. What are some steps that you would take to do those things? I know you guys have picked out this land in southern Colorado to get this first farm started. But I know there's going to be a voting process. I know there's a lot of areas that could really use this solar energy expansion.
Most definitely. So as far as that DAO goes and how that's all going to be set up, we're actually in the process of figuring all of that out right now and plan to launch the DAO by the end of Q4 this year. So that DAO will actually be created, like the whole Web3 infrastructure. We want staking, we want the DAO and basically our whole community to be really have a strong foundation before branching off into these Web2 expenditures. But as far as that DAO goes and the creation of that DAO, at ETH Denver, we actually met somebody who works at a Web3 company. I'm not sure if I can disclose it or I don't want to get him in trouble, but he was a super cool guy. But he actually got his master's in DAO creation and DAOs in general. So he's an awesome person to work with. And we're very excited to get that DAO up and running. We've only had a couple meetings now. We do always like to be very transparent too. So, that's just throwing it out there. We've had a couple meetings. We do still have a long way to go with the DAO, but again, we do plan to have that completely finished by the end of this year. So
amazing. Yeah, it's great to have an expert like that to help you guys along. That's amazing.
Definitely. And we have some, even though our team is relatively small right now, everybody who's on the team is extremely passionate about what we're building. And we're all very experienced with, the industries that we're all in. Kareem, has been running his family business ever since he was around, well, has helped run it since he was around like 12 years old. I've this experience in renewable energy. We just have a really cool team. The art for the solar heads is awesome. Our website designer is amazing. We have a very solid team, even though we're not very big yet. Everyone who has joined the team has been absolutely amazing. So,
all right, lean and mean. That's the way to run it in Web3.
Exactly the way to do it.
I had a couple questions. I forgot one of them, but shoot. You touched on what you were going to do, and then let's touch on. You said you have one of the biggest green chip communities, green chip collection communities, and so I'm curious. Your friends and my friends and our friends over at Hydro Hippos, where obviously they're doing something completely different, and the industry's a little bit different. It's not solar; it's hydro focused, but would you consider them a green chip collection as well? And how do they fit into the green chip community? And has the community formed a common ground where everyone's coming together to support one another, given the green initiative? And is that then further being segmented based on having the individual communities, like solars and hydros, etc.?
Most definitely. And that's actually a great question that you just asked. So let's break it down a little bit. The Hydro Hippos, I don't think that they necessarily consider themselves a green chip project, but they are a green chip project because they are, focused on environmental sustainability through what they're doing. They're not focused on solar, but they're actually focused on hydroelectric energy. So basically creating energy through having water turn a turbine. So you'll have a dam, that dam will go down. It gets kind of complicated. Basically, it's just producing energy from water, from moving water. So that's what they're focused on. And they're also plan to have a crypto mining operation as well. I don't think, as far as my understanding goes, that they're focused on creating a DAO. I think they're more focused on giving back those proceeds back to holders, which is still an awesome utility as well. So to answer the green chip question, they are a green chip project, but I think that the term green chip is just not that commonly used at the moment, and not that many people know about them.
You're starting a trend. You're starting a new trend.
Start a new trend. And to answer your collaboration question, we've actually spoken with Hydro Hippo several times. We have cross-pollinated with our communities through Twitter Spaces, as well as just throwing different Discord events. They're very early in their project, just as we are. But what we have also spoken about, I spoke with the founder Todd. We set up a little. It was actually during a Twitter Space, but basically what we spoke about was. So with my last job, not only did I research agrivoltaics, I also researched something called photovoltaics, which is developing solar farms on top of bodies of water. So you can actually put solar panels on top of water, and there's different utilities associated with that. The water cools down the solar panels, makes them more efficient as well. It can also save water. It reduces evaporation, which is great if you're in water scarce regions like California or Colorado. And you could put those panels on top of a water reservoir to make sure that that water does not evaporate. So it's pretty cool. So what we've spoken about is potentially collaborating in the far future to develop a photovoltaic solar farm that combines their hydro dam with our solar panels. So you're really just combining both technologies, and the more energy we produce, the more crypto that we can mine together. So there's definitely a great future as far as collaboration with the Hydro Hippos goes.
That's really cool.
It's awesome, and I could also show you guys exactly what photovoltaics looks like. Some super cool tech. I'm all about this dual use, solar movement, I guess. Land is just so sacred, guys. Like for example, agricultural land and just land in general only decreases over time. It becomes more scarce over time. It's a lot faster for land to erode than it is to actually form. So, land is only getting scarcer. So we have to use our resources accordingly and, utilize our land to the best way possible. So a great way to do so is by doing dual use energy generation, such as agrivoltaics or photovoltaics, to really save that land and, use it for the better. So I'm about to share my screen here real quick. I'll show you guys what photovoltaics is about. So this is
House agrees. He says yes.
Let's go. So this is photovoltaics. So you just put solar panels on top of water. Some really cool stuff. And yeah, so the water cools down the solar panels, makes them more efficient, and this can save a lot of water if you need to save it. So some super cool stuff. Here's a little description of how this stuff works. But, yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, I could nerd out about this stuff forever, guys. So and there's even like this whole other brand new emerging market, which is nobody has really dipped their toes into at all, but it mixes agrivoltaics with photovoltaics. And basically you create you grow plants in water with solar panels on top. So it's like some super far-fetched shit, but it basically combines agriculture with this photovoltaic array. Very cool stuff.
So I'm gonna, if I may, be a little bit of a devil's advocate here, just because I think these could be good questions, and so this is very awesome, but also very ambitious at the same time. And obviously, you're offering up assets, you're offering up rewards to supporting community members that get involved with a project early on. But I can imagine, obtaining the land and putting that infrastructure in there and then making it work. What angles are you approaching as far as funding to make this a reality?
Exactly. So I'll break it down. I'll break that down a little bit. So the industry standard at the moment to build a solar farm is basically 1 megawatt costs around $1 million to build. So what we're building is half of that. So a 500 kilowatt solar farm. So on average, that'll take around 500 to 600,000, and it will only take around 3 to 5 acres of land. So it's really not that crazy. Like if you go to a typical solar investment firm and you tell them that you want to develop a 500 kilowatt solar farm, they will laugh at you because it's very small considering the scale of different solar farms. For example, the company that I work for, they develop solar farms within the 500 megawatt range. For us, it's 500 kilowatt. So to put into scale, it's very small compared to what they're doing. So it's definitely very achievable. Including our the total estimates that we have currently for our initial solar farm is $1.2 million for the whole thing. All right. So at the moment, we are using the Solar Pass proceeds. So with the Solar Pass Blue, this can actually be seen in our white paper. That's being primarily used to strengthen our foundation before the future releases of our Solar Passes. As I mentioned, there's 100 blacks. There's 500 blues. Once we sell out of these 500 blues, we're moving on to our green and orange colors. There will be 1,000 greens and 3,400 oranges for a total supply of 5,000. So we are increasing the supply, but we are also increasing the price as time goes on as a way to incentivize people getting early into our project. So the earlier that you're in, the more exclusive your Solar Pass color is, and also the cheapest mint price that you will get throughout the release of our collections. So the Solar Pass initially, when we dropped SFA, we had initially planned to crowdfund the whole solar farm by selling these Solar Pass NFTs. Obviously, the NFT market is not what it used to be. It's currently in the bear market, or we don't even like to call it a bear market. It's just a builder's market. Regardless of what is going on, we're still building and still releasing things to strengthen the foundation until the next bull run. But we were looking at primarily using the funds from the Solar Pass collection to build that solar farm. Since we're not able to do that anymore, starting in Q1 of 2024, once we have our foundation really strengthened, is when we're going to reach out to external investment firms as well as government grants to help us crowdfund the solar farm. So we, really want to lean more on the grant side. That way we can still, have the freedom and ideally complete decentralization. But that was the whole point of, using the NFTs for it. But since we're not able to at the moment, we do have to resort to external factors. So, even though we do have to reach out to different investors for this initial solar farm, this will not be our only one. We will just keep on, reinvesting proceeds from our project back into the project and community to expand our operations, buy more land, get more panels, and mine more crypto. So it's just going to be constant reinvestment back into the project to, just really grow our visions to unbelievable limits, honestly. So I know that it does sound, very far-fetched, but for the scale that we're starting, it's actually very attainable.
Makes sense.
The land, it's really
makes sense. Are these smaller farm or smaller solar farms? Are they already existing, like in any other capacity? Or are people making them that size or smaller?
Typically, they are a little bit smaller. The typical scale that you see for a traditional off-grid solar farm is around 20 kilowatts. For us, it's 500. So that's it's our system is definitely bigger, but we're still under that megawatt. So we're not a utility scale solar farm. Still, we're still a very relatively small sized farm. But when you're mining crypto, or when you have a crypto mining operation capable of mining $30,000 to $40,000 a month with crypto, that really leaves a lot of room for just constant expansion. So
that's cool.
I have a question to kind of visualize how much power this is. Right. You're an engineer around this stuff, so you understand how much could 500 kilowatts, how many homes could that power? And give us kind of a scale on that so we can get some visualization on it.
Most definitely. So a 500 kilowatt solar farm could power around 240 to 400 homes for up to 25 years. So a typical life of a solar panel is 25 years, 25 to 30. So having, a 500 kilowatt farm can provide power for 240 to 400 homes. The reason why there's a variance between that is because it does depend on how much energy that local region does use. It just depends on a lot of factors, but on average, that's typically what it is.
Awesome. Thank you for that.
Definitely.
And yeah, you never know. It depends on who you ask. We may be getting into the next bull run, and that may or may not have already started. And we just watched in the last 2 weeks or less a plethora of significant institutions enter the space in one capacity or another that's affecting volume and prices and buying pressure on many levels. And Jahan, our CEO of the American Crypto Academy, and I have already called that this is going to be an NFT somewhere where we'll see, if not a major, at least a minor bull run with NFTs. And the sellout of Azuki, though there is a big controversy around that sellout yesterday that raised $38 million, ridiculous in 5 minutes. So my point is keep it what you're doing. I think you're doing awesome. You've got really good answers. Not to say that they're good answers to be good answers, but you've got the background, you work in the industry. I think the narrative's there. That's what got me curious about your project. I'm really excited, and I will probably for the rest of my life regret missing that 0.15 Black Pass that was on the market, and I watched it for a week, and I was trying to save some money on gas fees. I should have paid those gas fees, even though they were kind of pricey, and I missed that someone picked that up. So I've been watching closely.
I think we have 50, a little over 50 Solar Pass Blacks still to give out. So you might get one for free, so definitely just stay tuned to the Twitter giveaways. We have some huge alpha that we're dropping here within the next coming weeks. So I'm going to be hosting a long mint party again.
We were looking for the alpha of our episode today. You going to give us a little alpha today?
All right. I don't know. I don't know if I could drop it already, but
don't let him peer pressure you.
I would just say stay tuned to our Twitter within the next 2 weeks because we're going to be making some huge announcements. So definitely shoot us a follow, and you guys will be able to follow along on that journey. We do host a space every Sunday, like I was saying, at 2 p.m. EST. We won't be hosting one this Sunday because it's a holiday weekend, 4th of July in the US. But next Sunday is when we'll be dropping that alpha. So just shoot us a follow. Stay tuned to our tweets. We constantly do giveaways, whether it's for solar heads, for ETH. So yeah, stay tuned. And we every Sunday is when we drop the alpha, give more giveaways and all that cool stuff. We still have an other deed for other side yet to give away to our community. We have an MFer. We have some like crazy NFTs that we're giving back to solar head holders. So each solar is only 0.02 ETH, so very affordable as well. And join those giveaways are just a fun thing that we do. We're primarily focused on the green chip aspect of what our project stands for and represents.
Awesome. That's awesome. And I'll ask you this, I'm looking forward to continuing sharing the space with your organization and what we're building, where the American Crypto Academy has been grinding to no end, day in and day out, and a lot more is going to start coming out as far as alpha and releases and updates with us before the end of the year. But I'd love to know how else we can continue to supporting you over, the next 6 to 12 months as, we all get to that line where we can establish ourselves as established organizations, given what we've been building the last 12 months or plus.
Most definitely. Yeah, we really love working with you guys. And because of the American Crypto Academy, we actually integrated another piece of utility into the SolarPass collection that I forgot to touch on. We've collaborated with this company called HeatSpring Learning to offer a 20% discount on any of their educational courses offered by them. HeatSpring Learning actually offers tuitions, or they offer classes to earn your certificates within the renewable energy industry, whether it's in design or permitting or, the financials, or basically anything within the renewable energy industry. You can take these classes, get your certificates, and become a certified renewable energy expert at a 20% discount. So shout out American Crypto Academy for making us, look into education and how we can offer that to our community. So shout out to you guys. And we'd love to also help you grow in any way possible. We love being in spaces with you guys. And we need to host a American Crypto Academy as Solarhead space here soon.
Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Always open for it. But wait, I lost the screen I was just sharing. Here it is. Let's take a look at the solar heads. I've minted a couple of these, and I have on my list to mint some for the ACA because mine are mine, personal. I'm not giving those away. But and I wanted to bring up the fact that I love the fact that you're involving bees with this. I'm a big fan. Right. I grew up with my family raising bees. I'm a bee lover. Although these a little bit remind me of wasps because they're a little too yellow. I'm a bee lover, so I wanted to highlight some of the art that you have out there, and that's why I brought up this window because, like I said, I think it's a lot of fun, and ACA has plans to also introduce. I like how you called it a community collection, a social collection. Exactly. Outside of it being a PFP, but why not? I guess 100%. PFP's got a lot of.
And one other thing that I wanted to add is press on that on the left side of the screen. You could see, that's actually the rarest skin trait. So that's that one. That one's really nice. It's like the burning sun. We actually named like the skin traits according to different suns and like the temperature of the different suns. So like the blue suns are the hottest. Those are blue giants. And those are like out of like we have yellow, blue, and red, or yellow, red, and blue. And the blue is like the hottest. So that was like the most rare. Is kind of what we had planned. And then we have the silver and then gold and then more of like the NFT fun colors that are common within the industry. But also on the left-hand side of the screen, you see the 1 of 1 area. One thing that I forgot to touch on is we have 50 1 of 1s in the collection. So 50. If you guys do mint one of these 1 of 1s, there's actually one within the next 20 mints. And if you do mint the next 1 of 1 or any of the 1 of 1s, we'll actually send you an exclusive 1 of 1 minter t-shirt IRL. Those are some awesome 1 of 1s. I love that 2D one, and that alien is awesome. But again, there's 50, so a lot more to be minted. I think that there's I saw 17 minted, so should be 33 left.
And makes me want to mint more. Snap.
I mean, fam, like honestly, it's a great value. Like you could also, if you go on our OpenSea account, you can actually see all the NFTs in our wallet, and all those NFTs are going right back out to our community as well. If you do own a solar head, so every Sunday at those spaces is when we draw the winner. We already gave out a DGen Tunes. We gave away a Hydro Hippo. We have some awesome NFTs. We still have a Puff Puff Panda, an ATS, a Rhoda, just some really cool NFTs in the vault. So exciting stuff. A little Pudgies. All the cool stuff. So yeah,
that's amazing. I love
it.
Oh, here's one of the 101s.
Yeah, that's a 2D 1 of 1. That one's awesome. Yeah, the art is awesome. I really like it. And just stay tuned to the alpha, guys, because huge things are coming very, very soon. I guess one piece of alpha that I do want to just talk about that we have plans. We've already announced this not too long ago, but we're developing this quarter. But basically what we're doing right now is we're getting the designs for our solar farms, as I mentioned earlier. We're going to put those designs in the metaverse on Spatial and allow people to basically walk around these solar farms as their solar head or as a solar head in Spatial. And you'll basically just be able to interact. We'll have concerts there. We collaborate with the Dope Stilo Music Club, which is basically it's a group of different rappers and Web3 artists, and they're going to have concerts at these venues or at the solar farm in the metaverse. And basically it will give you guys like a little taste of what the solar farm is going to look like. So very cool stuff.
Awesome. Mint your solar heads.
Mint a solar head, 0.02 ETH. You're joining the largest green chip community on the blockchain. And we also constantly just drop more utility for holders. There's so much that I didn't even talk about today that I have probably just overlooked. We recently gave, so once we had the Solar Pass collection, everyone who owned a solar pass, we airdropped them a free solar head. When gas was ridiculously high, we still had to do it because we promised it. So we gave out the solar heads, and then to every solar head holder, we recently just gave out a free Solar Heads the movie NFT. So we have like a whole movie that we have. Have you watched that, American Crypto Academy, or?
So I'm glad you brought that up. I've been meaning to ask you because I've seen it. I've seen it in my hidden folder, and I'm scared to interact with anything in my hidden folder.
Right.
And then I saw this, and I'm like, I wonder if this is legit. So this is you?
That is us. Yes, the solar. That is it. Yes. So if you, nothing sus in there. Yeah. And if you want to play it too, it tells you, everything about the Solar Heads mission and everything that we stand for, and it's also really fun. So. We airdrop this free NFT to everyone who held the solar head, and there's only going to be more airdrops as time goes on. So we just always like to give different types of free stuff to our community just to kind of give back to them. So
what? Now if I can find it,
you might have to search it.
It should be called Solar Heads. Yeah, let's see.
But now I'm spinning. Spinning. Did you hear the V3 while we waited?
What is it? I don't think I have.
It was a free claim from the Optimism community. It's a song about Vitalik Buterin, and it's pretty awesome.
That sounds awesome. Oh, there it is.
Once upon a time, in a distant galaxy far, far away, there existed a group of star gods known as the Solar Heads. Their purpose was to harness the power of light and use it to improve life on planets throughout the universe. As the Solar Heads embarked on their cosmic journey, they began to notice that many of the planets they visited were struggling to sustain themselves. The inhabitants of these worlds were using up their resources faster than they could be replenished, and many were even on the brink of collapse. The Solar Heads knew they had to save these struggling worlds. And so they set their sights on a special blue planet in a remote corner of the galaxy, Earth. When they arrived on Earth, the Solar Heads were amazed at the beauty and diversity of life they found. From the vast oceans to the towering mountains and the dense rainforests to expansive deserts, the solar heads found Earth to be a planet of remarkable beauty and abundance. Despite the natural beauty of the planet, they also witnessed the damage that Earth's inhabitants had inflicted upon their home. The skies were polluted, the oceans were filled with plastic, and the land was spoiled by industry and unsustainable agriculture. The solar heads knew that they had to come together as a community to help Earth heal. They gathered from all across the galaxy to educate and show humans the potential of solar energy. Additionally, the solar heads taught the humans about agrivoltaics, a new method of farming that creates a symbiotic relationship between crops and solar panels. As a result, the humans of Earth were able to sustainably produce more food, save the bees, and heal the Earth, helping to ensure a healthier and greener future for generations to come. Initially, many humans were skeptical of the solar heads. They were afraid of these powerful beings of light and did not understand their intentions. However, as they began to see the positive impacts of the solar heads community, their fears were replaced with gratitude and admiration. Thanks to the solar heads, Earth began to heal. The skies cleared, the oceans became cleaner, and the land began to thrive once more. And as the solar heads continued to power the world sustainably, the humans of Earth began to see them not as strangers, but as friends in their quest to create a better future for all. As the solar heads celebrated their victory, an ominous dark cloud began to loom on the horizon. Rumors began to spread of a new supervillain destroying solar farms and replacing them with coal and fossil fuels. The solar heads knew they were on a mission to save Earth before it was too late, but they were unsure of how to stop this powerful foe. Little did the solar heads know, their greatest challenge was about to begin.
Yeah, so there you have it. See, like some parts were like memey because we did have to fit into like the Web3 culture and stuff. So like that was intentional, but yeah, it kind of made me giggle when I don't know, when we were making it. So
That's
That was
awesome.
pretty awesome. That was a great summary of a lot of everything that you told us, like in just like 3 minutes. Here's what we're doing.
Exactly.
Nice job. Nice job.
Thank you.
And I'm glad you confirmed that that NFT was you. And
Yeah. Yeah, promise nothing malicious on our end. We
can't
host
wear
like
a crowd.
24-hour mint parties on Twitter Spaces. Like we literally host Twitter Spaces for 24 hours straight, nonstop. Kareem and I, so you could see like the full cognitive decline, I guess, throughout the whole 24 hours. But through our most recent 24-hour space, we airdropped those live on the space, and like surprised our community with them. So it's a lot of fun. More airdrops coming soon, guys. So stay tuned.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Awesome. Sundays. I'll try to be there every Sunday. Yeah, let's go. I need that pass.
I think you have one, don't you? Don't you have a solar pass? Or
Oh, I have I have a couple of solar heads. I don't have a solar pass.
Okay, I thought you did. Maybe, yeah, my bad.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I missed that one, that black one that was listed for 0.15.
Yeah,
when you told me, like, get this, I'm like,
it jumped up to, I think it's still 90. Let's see.
Yeah,
and
no,
the reason why we say that
listing.
isn't for like flipping purposes. It's mainly just to emphasize how like our community is diamond hands, and nothing like none of our mints are fabricated or anything. Like they're all legit. We've never spent a single dollar on any type of marketing or advertising for our project. It's all just been completely organic from the ground up. So we're also not new. We're over a year old now, about a year and 3 months. So since February of last year, and it's every day we just keep on building and making improvements. So come a long way and have a long way to go still, but it's great.
Exciting stuff. Definitely looking forward to the next level, and excited to keep working with you in the space.
Me too. Let's go, guys. Yeah, nice to meet you, Evan. I'm happy to meet you guys. Do you have a Twitter? Oh yeah, I'll shoot you a follow right now.
Amazing. Yeah, I'll shoot a follow back. I followed the Solar Farm account. I definitely want to be participating on these Sunday spaces. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh, they're fun. Yeah, we so like they're not a typical they're not like a typical shill space. A lot of founders create like mega spaces where they just have like 30 projects go back to back, have 10-minute slots. For us, it's more of like shill and chill spaces. We really like to have, different renewable energy experts on the panel, sustainability experts. We like to have different projects, even if they're not even green chips or utility focused or anything. We like to have art. We like to have music, basically whatever. We leave them very open, and we really try to like show our community the diverse sides of Web3 and like kind of everything that it holds, So whether it's music, whether it's art, whether it's utility, NFTs, green chips, blue chips, whatever, we have it all. So
amazing.
Yeah,
I'm excited. Very cool.
Yeah, they're fun. We also do degen sometimes, so it's not all professional. Sometimes it gets a little too fun some days on the Twitter Spaces, but you got to find out. You got to join to find out. So.
I mean, like at this point, after everything we've been through the last year and a half in this market and space, and we're still here grinding and building, we're allowed to be degen as much as we want at this point. And somebody wants proof of our work. Well, we're putting it out there every day, all day and every day. And we're all of us are doxxed. And so like, come at me, bro.
It's also about like the whole, why can't I think of the word right now? But disrupting, like we're disrupting the traditional business scene, like, which is good. Like we shouldn't bring that corporate stuff into this. Like this is like, honestly, even for how professional our project is, there's some heavy engineering involved, heavy professionals need to be, on the team, legal team, all of that. We still just like to have fun with it. And that's really like the whole point of SFA and the Solar Heads, like just really having fun with what we're doing instead of just making it business, like only business. And you can see on our Twitter, we really like to engage our community. We like to have fun. We don't like to be so serious all the time, but that's intentional because there's no reason to be. And we like to disrupt that mainstream corporate idea, I guess. So we want to be a legit company, but also have fun while doing it and using Web3 as a platform. So
it's the Web3 way. Love to hear
it. The Web3 way, man. It's beautiful. I love being a part of this movement, and especially at this time. Like I really like how slow NFTs have been this past year because it's been like very like build at your own pace, and also we have time to perfect things right now. It's not like everything has to move extremely fast and like we end up releasing messy products. Like everything we release is high quality. We like to take our time. We like to make sure that our foundation is set before this next bull run fully hits and swings. So, yeah.
All right. So what's the next conference you going to?
That's a good question. So we don't only attend crypto conferences, we also attend solar conferences. So this August, we're attending a conference in Boulder, Colorado, focused, the American Solar Energy Society basically hosts a yearly summit, and we will be attending that summit. So.
Right on. Have you been to other solar or green initiative conferences? I'm curious how. Oh, and I remember my other question: how receptive they are to the fact that you're involving blockchains and Web3.
Definitely. So the solar industry as a whole is very interested in these technologies, but they really don't understand it. And I was actually just speaking with another project that we love called Jasmine Energy. Basically what they do is they tokenize renewable energy credits. So like when let's say you have a solar farm, that solar farm generates something called renewable energy credits, which shows that energy was produced from a renewable energy source. So they're trying to put those renewable energy credits on the blockchain. Basically, I had a conversation with them earlier today, and I was telling them how if they approach certain progressive Web3 or solar companies, it would be breakthrough for them because these solar professionals are very interested in the technology, but they don't know much or anything about it or how to even go about getting into it. And that's also what the industry as a whole has a large issue with. I had Kareem, the other co-founder of SFA, who got me into into NFTs. I was able to ask him, just shoot question after question after question to him to really fully wrap my head around it. But not everybody has that, that ease of access, which is where the American Crypto Academy comes in. But that's a side thing. So to answer your question shortly, they're very interested in it, but they don't know how to adopt it. And to answer the other question about us attending different conferences, we have attended a Solar Farm Summit, which is based in Chicago, Illinois. And they actually that's the largest agrivoltaic conference in the country, or in the world, or in the country, it is a country. The largest in the world is in South Korea. But to put it into perspective for how early we are with agrivoltaics, this was the largest agrivoltaic conference in the country, and there were only 200 people there. So that puts it in perspective. Yeah, we're very early in agrivoltaics. So, we're just getting started.
Interesting. Shout out to Left House. This threw me off. Left Action House. Shout out to Left House. I can't. I'm still struggling to say it because there's an action there. Shout out Left House. He's got a question. Are you doing anything with EWT? I'm not even sure what EWT is.
I'm not sure what that is either.
Left House. Well,
EWT. Let's see what we're working with.
I've been looking at this action, and then I went to say his name. He goes by Left House. I've always known as Left House, and that action threw me off. Left House. But while he comes up with that, I'm asking my other question is why blockchains and Web3 outside of Energy Web Token? So, okay, let's say, so are you doing anything with EWT, Energy Web Token? And then I'll ask my question.
Energy Web Token. I actually just found this, like Kraken. I have heard of Kraken. I need to look more into this. I don't think we have dipped our toes into this, but it looks like it's right up our alley. So Energy Web Chain. Sounds awesome. Learn something new every day. So we'll actually look more into this today.
On that similar topic about Energy Web Token, I'm not even sure what that is myself. Energy Web Token. But so are you familiar with the ESG terminology and what that entails?
The ESG, like with what corporations are integrating into their corporate policies, or
well, so ESG stands for economic, social, and government aspects. And so your project, it's not corporation based. It's sort of a field like you're calling green chip collection. So ESG can encompass anything and everything that falls into one of those categories, whether it's social or economical or governance related. Mm-hmm. And so the reason I bring it up is so even BlackRock has is pro Energy Web Token, and so ESG, and then there's some with regards to ESG, there's some carbon credits out there that can be earned based on what an organization generates and what an organization then tries to offset, and they can earn carbon credits that then potentially could be where have a value or an exchange value where it can be converted to fiat or other cryptocurrency and so forth. And so if you're not familiar, I think that's something to also explore into left house. Oh my God, that action keeps making me startle when I say left house. To left house point, explore Energy Web Token, explore earning or providing carbon offsetting because you're a green chip project. And so when you have a farm that's there that is providing significant green initiative or focus on affecting the ecology in a positive manner, there's probably, and I don't know enough. We have specialists on our team that are much more familiar with this. I just know enough to know that it exists, and corporations invest into projects like that or get involved with in order to offset the carbon that they're putting or emitting out there. And so you can probably get involved with that, where you also start receiving grants because of it. And the ESG aspect, when you're ready to apply for grants, look for, there's various blockchains and Web3 organizations that provide grants for ESG projects, and you're 100% qualified for that.
Most definitely, yeah. So there's a ton of different sources for grants as well. Like even within Web3, there's like Gitcoin. There's like a whole bunch of different like green Web3 initiatives. So again, starting in Q1 of 2024 is when we're going to be starting that whole process. And obviously, if we sell out of the Solar Pass collection beforehand, we won't have to go through those avenues. If Azuki could generate $34 million in 5 minutes, we could generate $1 million for a crypto mining solar farm.
Let's go.
It's really not too much to ask for. Like
the summer's upon us, and we have several months to make it happen. Let's go.
Let's go.
Piece of
Let's
cake.
get it. Yeah, it's easy. So let's see. I lost my train of thought for a second.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, it's my
ESG grants.
Okay.
Exploring EWT, carbon credits, yeah, all of that.
Definitely. So as I mentioned earlier, we did want to integrate those agrivoltaic principles at our solar farms by planting those native wildflowers and grasses underneath our panels. So an additional stream of revenue for our project and community would be to invite local farmers to bring their cows and their sheep onto the land of our solar panels and basically serve as natural lawnmowers for us. They'll eat back that grass and they'll also fertilize that soil. But when they fertilize that soil, it actually is a carbon negative process. It's called regenerative agriculture or regenerative land management. We could get more in depth into that. But basically that in itself can produce carbon credits, which then we can sell for an additional stream of revenue. So, we could generate revenue from selling back energy to the grid if we do end up connecting it to the grid in the future through our crypto mining operation, through these carbon credit generations, through the NFT mints, and also secondary sales, like growing hemp underneath the panels, selling those. Like there's just so many different avenues of exploration. And the craziest thing is like, this sounds like it's very complicated to do, but it's really not that difficult. Like once we get this first solar farm, you'll see that like it's not very hard to be growing all these crops underneath the panels or it's all about collaboration and partnering with the right people is really what it's all about. So, it's very possible with all of our goals are attainable. It just depends on how we execute them.
Not just hemp. Hemp is legal, but even marijuana growers can probably benefit from solar panel energy and green energy. And I'm sure they'll be down for it. And they have the land space and more and more states are getting friendly with that. It's only a matter of time. We'll see who the next president that gets elected to and what decision they make on a federal level. But some of them on the ballot are voicing that they're going to be pro it, and others are saying no. So we'll see.
Right.
DeSantis, shame on you.
Yeah, rip. Yeah, I was just in Florida yesterday. Actually, I just got back. Florida's so cool though. You have some great transportation, and I really like that new train and.
Great transportation. What you talking about, Willis? We're just like catching up to the 20th century with transport. We just got a fast train.
Yeah, I guess.
Granted, that's I think the train industry as a whole in the U.S. is behind. Different topic, different show. But so yeah, I understand what you mean. We have a fast train, so I'm excited about that. I've been on it. It is fun, but it's still. Given you can look at some statistics, everyone talks about LA traffic. I've been stuck in LA traffic and DC traffic, known for one of the worst in the countries as well. And then there's Miami traffic. And lately,
nobody talks about Florida traffic.
No, but lately, statistics you can look up. Miami traffic, South Florida traffic's gotten even worse than LA, and our infrastructure is years behind based on the amount of people moving into South Florida, and it's not getting any better. I mean, right now they're constructing a bridge that connects east to west and the beaches, and it's going to be a double layer highway. Otherwise, it makes no sense. And they wouldn't even 95 runs from the southernmost point in Florida and the Keys all the way up to New York and into Canada, and they've even considered making 95 a double-decker down here because there's no space, there's no real estate, eminent domain. You would literally have to take everyone's homes away in years and years to keep adding panels. Like in California, we've diverged so much, but in California, the highways are 7-10 lanes wide each way. Ours are 4 or 5 wide, so that means doubling it. We already don't have enough room. So the only way it makes sense is to go up until flying cars start coming, or we automate cars and remove drivers, because it's not really the amount of people in cars. It's people don't know how to drive, and everyone drives how they want to.
Couldn't agree more. And, but the issue also with building up is then the hurricane requirements and all of that, so.
I don't know. We're already building, right now, the Waldorf Astoria is building an 85-story building that's going to be the highest in South Florida. It's considered a super, what do they call it? You have skyscrapers and then you have super skyscrapers, and that's going to be the first one in South Florida. And they're not worried about hurricanes, I think. So there's a certain, from what I've been learning specifically around that building, there's a certain new way of it all has to do with the support and ground being able to withstand the wind. And otherwise, hurricanes in LA, all of those skyscrapers, they're built and designed to wave in a certain way. And earthquakes are create a lot more friction than a hurricane would. So the hurricane's very not as much. And so as long as it's planned for, I think it's good.
Very interesting. Yeah, I've never lived in a hurricane prone area, and I might be moving to South Florida here very soon, within the next month. And I'm very
snap!
Let's
go. Where at?
It would be West Palm Beach area. So
let's go. That's a great spot. Great spot.
Yeah, I think it should be pretty good. So
yeah, you can hop on the train and be in Fort Lauderdale, Miami at any time.
We're there. Yeah, easy. That train.
And I got told and corrected, and I stand corrected, Mr. Left House to me, not just Left House. And I know Left Action House is the name of the channel, but it kept giving me a bump of saying your name. And so, like, Mr. Left House, I do apologize, sir. Mr. Left House going forward, we'll keep it to that. Thank you.
And thank you so much for that recommendation, Mr. Left House. I'm definitely going to look more into that. I haven't heard of EWT before, but I'm excited to look more into it now. So thank you.
And speaking of Mr. Left House, he's going to be on our show as a guest next Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Definitely looking forward to it. He is all the way from, speaking of LA, aren't you in LA, Mr. Left House? Sammy, you're in Denver, and you just got back from South Florida, but you're moving to West Palm, so soon enough you'll be a Floridian.
Maybe.
Are you moving for good, or?
It would be for a new job. So I don't think it's actually at the largest renewable energy company in the world. And they're the first ones who want to integrate agrivoltaics at a utility scale. So at like a very large scale. So I would literally be like the first agrivoltaic dude in there. We're making history. Like, it literally feels crazy. So things are moving very fast. But if I do get the job, then I will be moving into West Palm within the next month. So, and I do plan to keep the job for a few years at least. So I'll be there for a while.
Nice. Well, this summer, the American Crypto Academy is having a hack house down on South Beach for a few months. And we're going to be doing a lot of events. I personally host a meetup event in Fort Lauderdale, Crypto Mondays, Fort Lauderdale, as often as I can and can afford to or have the strength to. But so definitely would be fun to get you engaged if you make it down here in the next month. Get you involved with some local events and meet the rest of the team and do some stuff collectively. I can introduce you to other organizations, including FIU and their blockchain association and other Web3 energy focused initiatives down here.
Thank you so much, Ivan. I would absolutely love to. I love in-person events. Even though crypto is all virtual, I love there's nothing really like meeting in person. So would love to do that.
Well, on that note, I think it's been a show. I know we mentioned some topics, but don't you worry. We're going to save them and definitely cover them. And it's nothing timely that we have to share. But I think, Evan, I'm good with not jumping into other. Let me look at my notes and make sure there's nothing and I mean, next week Left House is coming, so we may not get to all the events, although maybe Mr. Left House, sir, please forgive me, Mr. Left House, maybe he jumps into some of the topics with us. He's also a fellow Wax fan, so and next week, it's been 2 weeks, so we may have another Funko Pop to open. Oh wait, what holiday is this weekend?
4th of July.
I'm embarrassed that I'm standing behind the American sign. Because of that, I don't know if Funko's been announced yet, and so around holidays they usually delay the mint for Funko Pop. But it's I found out, Evan, you were asking me an episode or two ago how often they traditionally mint every 2 weeks unless there's a holiday. Then it may get delayed to the next week or get delayed a few days, but that's their schedule more or less. So, and Sammy, if you're not familiar, Funko Pops, I'm sure. Funko Pop does drops on Wax, and I've been a collector. They're also one of the best performing collections on Wax. So outside of not financial advice, outside of it, making sense from a flip perspective, I'm also a collector and a fan, and every drop is a different collection, different team collection, and they all have physical play attached to them, to where if you get a legendary or higher, you can have a physical claimable, which ends up in itself the asset being worth a lot of money, because the physical claim, it's several months, so it allows you to play the market and monitor the market. So it makes it very interesting. Not financial advice, but definitely something fun. And so I've made a decision to try to buy a pack from every drop and open on the air, because one, you get streamer's luck and you can always pop something good open, but two, it's a lot of fun to open packs. I'm not sure if you've ever opened NFT packs. It's a lot.
I don't think I have. Yeah, that sounds really fun though. It's kind of like just like a fun thing to do. So are they like all themed, like maybe Marvel themed or Disney or whatever?
Exactly. Any IP that Funko Pop has, they're releasing with. But like last week with it, was it It? The movie It.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah,
there's a Flintstones that we've opened. There's a few others that nice. Ivan's collected over the
Avatar. We opened the Avatar last week. Ooh. I have a couple more I can open, but again, not today. We'll save them for some time, and maybe next week we'll buy a fresh one and open a fresh one.
Shout out Funko Pops. Let's do it.
And check us out next week with Left House. Mr. Left House should be a lot of blast. I always enjoy his company and streams, and looking forward to having him here.
I will be a usual viewer of these spaces from now on, or these streams. I really liked it, so thanks a lot.
Awesome. And our door's always open. Anytime you decide, hey, I have some alpha, let's find somewhere to go. You're always welcome. We always like having guests, and you can join us anytime. Bring updates. Now that our viewers are familiar with the show, we do stream it live, like I said, on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, and use a guest, which Mr. Left House, reminder, we can do that next week. Use a guest. If you have your own YouTube or Twitch or Twitter, you can stream. You should have that option on your end to share and stream this stream on your platform as well. So it creates for multiple viewership and a lot of different engagements. So a good way to cross-pollinate with projects.
Very nice. Yeah, I like StreamYard. Shout out StreamYard, Funko Pops, all of them. It's fun.
Love it.
Sami, any closing thoughts for us and our viewers?
I guess I just want to leave off with, the concept that NFTs and Web3 can really be a force for good. And we really have to come together to make sure that the reputation improves, and also that, that we make a positive impact with what we're doing. So I just want to leave off with that. And, SFA is just very strong. Like we very strongly believe that, this technology can really save the world if utilized properly. And we want to really, change the game with this project. So come join the Solarhead movement. Thank you again so much, American Crypto Academy, for having us. Very nice to meet you, Evan. And, hope to see you guys in some more of our spaces. And we'll be in these streams more often as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Great. Pleasure to meet you as well. Hopefully we can catch you at an event, maybe ETH Denver again, or wherever else we can find you.
Meet me in the Zen Zone.
That sounds great.
Yeah. I mean, time's flying by. It's almost time for the next ETH Denver.
It
feels like we were just there. Evan, your closing thoughts for the evening, sir.
No, just very excited. I learned a lot about the solar industry today, and I appreciate you, Sami, for giving us the rundown on your project. I'm going to need to grab a solar head and hopefully join some of the spaces and get a chance at one of those black passes. That's going to be fun.
Cool. Yeah, man. There's a 1-of-1 within the next 20 minutes, so coming up soon. So could be a lucky one.
Now I have competition for those black passes
between
Evan and myself. And my closing toast, thanks for everyone that tuned in. We love doing this. We enjoy it. Don't forget to give us a follow, a like, and a subscribe. Share with your friends. And if you want to hear about any topics that you've been curious on or want to know more about or want us to deep dive into, don't be shy to reach out, get into our DMs, find us on Twitter, or reach out via our website or anywhere you like and you feel comfortable. And we'd be more than happy to get into topics and even bring you on as a guest. So always welcome. Thank you. And hope everyone has a great week and a great weekend coming up.
Let's do it. Yeah. See you guys. Have a great weekend. Happy 4th of July. Everyone in the US. Let's go.
Happy 4th of July. Yeah. And we'll be back right after. I think so we'll be back on July 5th with Mr. Left House in the house.
We will.
Let's go. Have a great day, guys. Yeah, see you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Cheers, everyone.